Happy Friday, Eric Bible with the Bible team at Neo Home Loans. And boy, oh boy, is it a Friday, but I am incredibly excited. And you may be asking, Eric, why the excitement? Interest rates are yet again higher. Feels like chaos. It feels like 2023 is literally replaying. It's Groundhog Day. And I share the excitement is that, yes, interest rates are higher, but demand has not suffered at the back of interest rates. And I want to get into that exact concept here today around, despite the fact that interest rates are elevated, how we're still winning and how you can win in this current time right now. So first, let's understand interest rates. 7.16 as of this morning. Yes, it's higher than it was last week. I know I'm complaining, you're complaining. It's not fun. It's not a reality. I've been here for the last, 2 years now advocating interest rates are going to get better. Interest rates are going to get better. Well, the reality is they're not. Now, I do adamantly believe we will see lower rates sometime in the not so distant future. But for now, this is the card in hand that we're dealt. And we need to deal with the matter at hand. The reality is transactions are still happening. How do we capitalize in this current moment? And that's what I want to share here today. So first and foremost, interest rates. What drove interest rates yet again this week higher? And it's around uncertainty. The beginning of January, the market was expecting the first rate cut from the Fed as early as March. Well, now, as of yesterday, that first rate cut's not coming until likely June. But honestly, who knows? Only the Fed. And it comes down to data. Where, yes, inflation is coming down, the most recent reports have said a different story. And there, the Fed is being very cautious to ensure that their actions have fully abated inflation. And right now, it's in question. So with that, the market is recalibrating expectations to ensure that when the first cut does happen, reality is here. So what I mean by this, and I'm going to land this plane. The market is fully uncertain. As we've seen in months and weeks past, uncertainty creates volatility. Volatility creates higher interest rates. So with that said, knowing that the first rate cut is likely not until June of this year, the reality is we're likely going to see higher mortgage rates until then. But there's still opportunity there. Transactions are still happening. Buyer demand is at some of the highest levels we have ever seen. Yet inventory is at some of the lowest levels we've ever seen. And I share this not as a brag, but as an opportunity to understand that the buyer is still very much involved and very eager to get into a home. This week alone, my team put 7 transactions in escrow. And you may be asking, how is that possible? Well, first and foremost, every single offer that was submitted on behalf of those clients throughout the nation, from the East Coast to the West Coast and everything in between, every single market we interacted with, the phone call on the other side, we already have multiples. We're above list price at this point. So yes, interest rates are higher, yet home prices are not suffering. Our clients need to hear that, because the prevailing narrative still from the media is that home prices are going to crash. It's '08 all over again. Well, we're seeing the exact opposite unfold in real time. So the question becomes, Eric, how are you winning in this market? And it comes down to these 4 key points. And I've put the explanation in the body of this newsletter this week. And if you are struggling to get your clients into escrow, get your clients off the fence, we want to connect. Our plan is working and our execution is flawless. And it comes down to education being number 1. Education is key. The prevailing narrative from celebrities, media outlets is buying is not wise. Yet we know that to be the exact opposite. And my greatest fear for the current buyer today is taking inaction, waiting, is going to cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars and potentially place them out of the market. So we have built an incredibly robust deck and information that provides the client a very contrarian view from what the media has been telling them for years. And that information is being so well received by our clients that they are wanting to take action before the masses hit the market. Happy to share. Please, again, reach out. We would love to share this info with you. Second is setting correct expectations. We all know the HGTV buyer. I'm going to buy the house. I'm going to get the seller below list. I'm going to have the seller do all the renovations. We know that not to be the case, especially now with multiples back in, homes going above list price. It's just not a reality. So here we have to transparently communicate the reality to the buyer to ensure that correct expectations are set. And it comes down to executing the plan. We all know that there's an exorbitant fallout rate right now, and a lot of it is tied to the integrity of the approval. Our approval process is not just a verbal application. We're taking the client through a full commitment, full underwrite to ensure that that finance piece is dialed in. So when the right home does come together, they can close in 10 calendar days with removing financing and appraisal contingency, knowing that the financing and the transaction will close. And lastly, communication. Communication is key. Unfortunately, in our business, communication falls to the wayside. And it still baffles me that communication is the last on so many people's lists, even if it's not even addressed. So here, communication is key. And again, I implore you all, if you're struggling with getting your client into a property in this current time, I want to connect. You can grab time on my calendar below. I would make myself available at your convenience. As always, make it a fantastic Friday and an even greater weekend. Thank you.